Spencer from Small Cap Spencer. This is my first video, so I'm just going to be documenting my trading journey, the good, the bad, and the lessons. And in this video, I'm breaking down a couple trades I took today, why I took it, what went right, and what I'd improve. I think the last part's the most important, and trying to find out what you can improve on each and every day, so you can come back the next day a better trader. Just to give you guys some background on me as a trader, I've been trading for about 5 years now. I started with Warrior Trading in 2020, bought their course, went through that. And yeah, I've been trading for 5 years, and just trying to build a small account here. As you can see, I'm using WeBull as my platform. This is a cash account. I started with about $1,700. I'm at 3,700, just under 3,700 now. And I'm just going to try to document my trade. This is more of like a public trading journal. I think it's going to be beneficial for me to track my trades. And if you guys are interested in watching me grow this account, maybe pick up some lessons from it as I make mistakes, or I can show you the strategy I use, all that. So I appreciate you guys watching this video. I hope you stick through it. And here we go. So first trade I took was on JFBR. I want to go over market context real quick because we're in a hot market. If you guys trade small caps, you know that we just entered a hot market. This past week, things have been starting to heat up nicely. So with that said, hot markets are great opportunity, but there's also a lot of emotion involved, emotion driving the market, and we're here to remain disciplined. I'm not here to chase every trade. I'm here to look for my setup, get green and get out. My main priority in a small account is to build buying power. I want to just get green, come back with more buying power, look for a good setup, and do the same thing. I'm not here to, obviously in a cash account, I can't sit here and trade all day. I can only take one or two trades. I have a hotkey for 50% buying power, and I have a hotkey for 100% buying power. So if I use a 50% buying power, I have 50% remaining. I can take two trades a day doing that, or if I see a really good setup, I'll use my 100% buying power, take that one trade, get green, get out. And that's pretty much how I handle a small account. Anyway, here we go, JFBR. This was a 5-minute setup that I saw right about here. If you look down here on the 5-minute chart where my cursor is, I took this little 5-minute candle, make a new high. What I'm looking for is a pushback to high day. I'll show you guys on the 15-second chart so you can see price action a little bit better. I was watching it pull back here. I see the bounce. I see the higher low here, and what I'm looking for is a break through this pivot. This pivot is the 5-minute candle making a new high. It's kind of what I'm looking for, 5-minute candle making a new high, push back to high day. I get in right on the break here around 130. My entry was 133. So I get in on the break, does a little pullback, few cents pullback, no big deal. I'm not sweating that. I'm risking about 10 cents on the trade, which would be, around here. If I see it breaking these EMAs on the 15-second chart, it's going to give me a red flag. It shouldn't be doing that. If it's a good setup, it should just kind of hold these EMAs and push higher. Once I saw the push, I'm looking for a higher volume, which we got, but it's not enough volume. As you can see, the volume on the right candles are bigger than the volume here that I was looking for. This honestly wasn't a great setup, maybe a little emotionally driven because I missed a few moves before. So in my mind, I'm like, I don't want to miss the next move. And yeah, this setup wasn't all that great. You can see the volume here on this right candle was bigger than the green volume, which is going to indicate a pullback, but also could be indicating the top. We're still extended off the 90 EMA on the 5-minute chart here, so the pullback wasn't really complete. But I still went for it. um, and it didn't resolve the way I wanted to. Once I saw it kind of grinding and not shooting back up to the high day, it kind of created a red flag in my mind. So I took some profits up here around 139, held the rest for break even. When I dropped back down to my entry, I just stopped out. Whatever, not a big deal. Um, Not the greatest setup, a little emotionally driven from missing other moves, and that's a consequence of the hot market. Things go, and you know, you don't want to be left on the sideline watching stuff. So kind of missed the move up here, which happens a lot in my strategy because my strategy is I'm waiting for a pullback. This is more of what I'm looking for, a nice pullback, either a double bottom or higher low, then a push back higher. So this is my setup, but just wasn't that greatest. Anyway, let's go on to Vero. That was the leading gapper of the day. Um, and I traded this. I traded this engulfing candle. I was watching the I was watching this wedge form. Sorry, I had my lines like this. I was watching this wedge form, and if it broke to the upside, I would have taken that, but it broke down, and it broke down like perfectly. It broke, retested, rejected, it broke down. When I saw this, I was like, yeah, shorts are getting in. It's breaking to the downside. Uh, Whatever. I started like looking elsewhere a little bit, but then I saw this candle form, big engulfing candle. I knew it was going to trap shorts, and I got in pretty much as quick as I could once I saw the engulfing candle happen. My entry was 574, so it might have been on this candle. But yeah, I got in, broke the descending resistance line, engulfing candle. MACD was still red, but this is a bullish sign, so I was confident that this was going to go up. So I get in, we get a little consolidation, we get the leg higher, took some profit at the previous high day, held the rest for the next leg up. We got the next leg up, took more profit, held a little bit for a runner to see if we would get a push to 7 or through 7. We never got that. I stopped out the rest at 605. I always try to hold a runner, especially on a strong stock. Still debating if it's worth it. I do lose on a lot of profits holding these runners, but when they do work and you get that strong leg up, it pays for itself. So not sure what's better. A lot of guys will say just sell your position on the push up, and other guys will say hold a little bit for the run. When it works out, the run is great. You can turn that little bit of extra shares position into a lot of profit, but out of all the times it doesn't work, it adds up as missed profits. But I know out of habit, I just want to hold my winners longer, so that's what I do. Um, so that was my trade. It was about a 10% trade, but I was only with half my buying power, so I got about 5% on that trade on my account, which is what I shoot for. I shoot for about 5 to 10% winners, and my losers about 2 to 3%. So I'm up 5% on my account. I wish I didn't take the JFBR trade and I took the Vero trade with my full buying power. That's really what you get rewarded for, that type of patience. This setup was obviously a lot better than the JFBR setup, but that's all hindsight. Can't do anything about that. Got my profit, got green, and got out. I'll show you my account real quick so you can see my equity curve. Um, this is when I deposit the money, so $1,700. Steady climb up within a colder market. Got hit with a little bit of drawdown and then took off. We're taking off good now in this hotter market. As you can see, this week has been a nice steady climb. This week I made $782. Again, I don't want to go by dollars. I want to go by percentages. Percentages are always easy to track how well you're doing. Dollar amount, you get caught in the P&L, you get caught in the dollar amount, and it can cause emotion. So I always use percentages. And for this week, we are up 26%, which is great. You know, my goal is 10% a week, and I'm up 26%. I was in a little bit of drawdown beginning this year. Not sure what happened. Maybe it was psychological. New new year, new month, and I dug myself a hole. The opposite of what I wanted to do. Fridays I struggle with because they're just deceiving. You know, I trade news, I trade pullbacks, and a lot of times on Fridays we get okay news, but not much follow through. So when the pullback does happen, the move is over, and I get stopped out. Market was hotter today, so we got a lot more follow through. So today was a little bit easier to trade. Um, but yeah, Fridays I give a lot back on Fridays, as you can see. Um, I'm going to continue trading them. I just need to refine my strategy when we're in a colder market on Fridays. But um, yeah, I usually try to shoot for 5% a day. That gives you 20% with usually one red day a week. That one red day I keep within limits of 5% instead of like this huge loss of 12. If I keep my red days around 5%, that usually gives me about 15 to 20% on the week. You know, 5% each day, that's 20%. You have one loss, you lose that 5%, so you're at 15%. If you do the math on that, if you're gaining about 10% a week, 15% a week, I can build my account up to about $100,000 in a year. That's if I continue on the same trajectory. So that's what I shoot for. That's the math I want. Let compounding do its work, and yeah, that's about it. I'll go over win rate. WeBull doesn't show like per trade win rate. It just shows ticker win rate. I'm at a 75% win rate. I'm in the symbols I traded. Um, Overall, on my account since I deposited it, I'm at a 61%, which is expected. Market was a little colder. Win rate goes a little bit down when the market heats back up. Win rate goes up. So this I'm sitting at pretty much where I want to sit at. Um, nice equity curve despite a couple drawdowns. That's the name of the game though. Just gonna keep grinding it out. So yeah, I'll do this again on Tuesday. I'm gonna keep tracking my progress. If you guys have questions, you can leave them in the comments. I'll go over more of my strategy as we go on, as I get more viewers. But yeah, this is just the beginning of my channel. I hope I can um, pr provide you guys some value. And again, yeah, let me know what you guys think in the comments, questions, anything I can speak about in my next video. But yeah, I'll see you guys. See you guys Tuesday morning. Markets closed Monday. Have a nice weekend.